Emuly, hello. Welcome to the Female Startup Club podcast.
Great to chat with you today.
I'm so excited. You're in Singapore. How's Singapore today? Do you have any wins or oh shit moments you can share?
We're doing well, actually. It's been a great year for us after the roller coaster of COVID. So we just did a launch into Ulta and it's going well. So we're really happy. Yeah, we're really happy.
Congratulations. That's huge. So exciting. I know that your story starts way, way back, pre-Sand and Sky, pre-Coco and Eve. And I want to go back to Bella Box because I'd like to understand what ultimately happened with that business that led you to where you are today and the kind of learnings you took away from that business.
Wow. So Bella Box was started in 2011. I really started running my own business 2009. So the entrepreneurial journey has been long. Before that, I've been in startups. So really the love of beauty, the vibe, the creativity, the energy, it's really grown since then. And when you sort of go into an industry for the first time, you feel the future and you feel the possibilities. And that was really the start with Bella Box. I love marketing and I loved e-commerce and decided then that I would start my career, really build my career in that. So I think the biggest lessons were really, it was before D2C, right? So it's really connecting with the consumer as, you know, all the way to the brand. And that's where I saw the opportunity in that business. And yeah, so that's the biggest learning. Also, we bought a database of 40,000 subscribers. So, you know, people want to try beauty products and they want to share them and they want to always discover the new things. And that was really the start of it for me.
And I feel like around that time, 2011, 2012, The Iconic was launching in Australia. The market was getting educated on shopping online. Things were really starting to shift from a consumer behavior perspective, as well as social media. Instagram was kind of just becoming a thing. Advertising on Facebook was extremely lucrative. It was an interesting kind of inflection point for all these things to be happening at once. What kind of took you away from Bella Box and into Coco and Eve and Sand and Sky?
We were really inspired by working with all of these brands, that what makes a beauty brand successful. And we saw that as well, that consumers would really respond if a particular brand or product was in the box and that they could really try it. So beauty was really this connector. But building brands on social media was just a really big possibility. And we saw that and connecting with consumers, listening to them, what do they want, what do they love? And so we set about building a few brands, which we did over the years. And so it was definitely an exciting time and, space to be in.
Something that I noticed both with Sand and Sky and Coco and Eve is that you kind of bent the rules a little bit, or ditched the playbook rather, and launched with just a single SKU, a single product. Why was that? And is that something that you would advise founders to do today when building new e-com D2C brands?
Great question. I think what we set out to do was really create something unique. So if we looked at the market, what was missing and what were consumers really looking for, and built those brands and that product. And I think the main reason, or one of the reasons, was we were just so focused on building that and capturing market share that the sort of portfolio of the products, the NPD, product development, sort of came after. And would I recommend that? I think, there's probably a perfect playbook, but a lot of times when you're building a brand, you might have the perfect team and think that's the perfect concept, but it doesn't always work. And the beauty with, beauty is you can really gain traction with a little bit of money, with a great idea. You can see, that's the consumers really loving that and build that up. So I'd probably come to market with a few more products to really give depth to the brand, and you're really, thinking about where the brand's going to go. But for us at the time, we were just really focused on gaining that traction and really capturing that consumer and making products and brands exciting.
Today, I really want to focus on that playbook specifically around Coco and Eve, especially digging into the early days of what kind of started to get you the traction and how you kind of, put this brand together. I know you were leveraging the data that you already had from BellaBox. You knew kind of the gaps in the market and what customers would respond to. But what led you to this brand that is very inspired by Balinese ingredients and Australia, and kind of just how did this brand actually come to light? What was your light bulb moment for this?
So the brand was created in 2015. We launched it in 2018 once we had enough money to launch it. And really the opportunity was hair care. And you had two segments of the market, right? You have supermarket brands. It's very cheap ingredients. You've got 10% sulfates. You've got lots of fillers. It cleans your hair and that's it. And then you have the salon brands. Where are the brands that consumers really could connect to and really understand? And we love cruelty-free. We really see the value of a vegan brand not using animal-based ingredients in your products. And so there's this really huge opportunity in the market, and that's where really Coco and Eve was born. But I think that really using ingredients and this efficacy message, we wanted people to try the product and oh my God, it's amazing. So that moment. And we also built how we're going to make this brand look on social media, because if you're in the salon, then the hairdresser can recommend. In the supermarket, you just see, the product, but what about showing it on social media, how people use the product, what's their experience with the product? And so we used all these strategies to do that. So we were really the first to create these accessories and these bundles. So the accessories, because it's hard to show a shampoo, here's my shampoo, on social media, but you could show wearing the hair wrap, and you show, the before you use the shampoo and after, and the whole kind of journey. So it's really storytelling using social media was really the key strategy to sort of really get the people interested in the brand and get that traction.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's still so highly critical to do today. Design your brand to live on social media and stand out on social media, but also obviously design a brand that people want to recommend to a friend, that people are going to come away and be like, "Oof, I love that. I would use that again. I would buy that again, and I would tell my friends about it on WhatsApp."
Yeah. Touch my hair. Look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Smell my hair. Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes, even though they're both so obvious to-dos, they can be overlooked. Sometimes you can try a product and you're like, oh, that was odd. That was an odd experience, or it didn't hit for me. And so I love both of those points that you make. For you, something that we love to talk about on the show is the money piece. I know that you are still 100% owned business and you haven't taken on fundraising. How much kind of capital did you need to get started and launch the brand?
So we had a house of, we've built 4 brands under Supernova, and with the money that we generate. So I think first of all, it sort of goes back to the very start. Why couldn't we hear why we built the business? And we wanted a profitable business, and now it's cool to have a profitable business. So it's glad that we're here. So if you have from day one, we need a profitable business. Well, you build the business case to be that way, and you make sure it's really building the whole culture. And throughout, we will be profitable. We invest our profits. As we built the whole brands and extended our business, we added on more countries and we added on more warehouses, and we sort of I think the key thing when you're building any brand or any business is just constant improvement, constantly reinvesting and building that up. So that's what we've always done. And we did have money to put in when I was in my kind of mid-30s when I started Supernova, and, we'd saved up $300,000. Said, okay, this, when you start a business, it's good to have a good base. This is it. And that's what we've built the business on from the beginning. Coco and Eve did have investments from the other brands. So probably about $2 million that we invested in the brand. And then, so for the 2 years, the investment took over 2 years. And then since year 3, we've been profitable and earned that back, more times as we've been able to scale and grow the business. So, but it was done within the group, investing in growth.
Now that you've kind of built 4 different brands, you've really done a rinse and repeat on playbooks that, things that work and things that don't work. For someone launching a new brand now, where would you allocate money, time, resources?
Great question. And the market has evolved so much during COVID, and that was a good 2 years, right? E-commerce is where it was happening. So, I just say e-commerce, do e-commerce and figure that out. And I think that, it's still there. It's come back this year. It was definitely last year there was a move back into retail, but what's the playbook? Where would brands start? Definitely what I've seen over the years, there's a lot of funding going into beauty. So your competitors have funding, so that's where the market is. But I think you need to have proof of concept. I think you need to, before taking on money, it's not just free money. They want to see their return. And you want to see the return on your own investment is get proof of concept. Do people love the product? Do they get the brand? And there's enough people out there that want to experience new things. So I would focus on a market. Australia is such a great market, especially hair care. Hair care is booming. So different markets doing different things, but, Australia is such a good market. If you're in Australia, UK, start locally, make sure you've got that reach. And because once you start adding on, this international expansion, the complexity of the business, goes up. And I think these days, which is different to 2-3 years ago, operational costs are extremely high. The costs of, packaging and products and operational costs, warehousing, last mile, they've gone up so much, and we feel it as a business. So that's a new challenge these days that brands need to be conscious of. And so I'd say that focus on a market, get traction, people love your product. And if you don't get traction, just iterate and improve until you do, because, sometimes it doesn't always just take off. It's sometimes not that easy. But
when you say proof of concept, for you, would that be like hitting a certain amount of revenue? Would that be just anecdotally seeing the vibe on social media and online? Or would that be something how would you quantify that as, oh, yeah, we've got it, let's go? Or is it it's just really obvious if you've got it or not?
I think what we have the chance to do in the beauty industry is really this breakthrough innovation. And the best example is Olaplex, because they just came up with a product that was so new and innovative. And you can do that in a small scale. So I think I think that's it for me. If you're coming out with sort of a regular shampoo and conditioner and it does well, or a tanner, what is it about it that you can really make special? And for the tanner, we do self-tan as well. It was really kind of solving a problem with tans, which is this, sort of bad DHA smells, ingredient that, you get this kind of what we call the biscuity smell. So we're how do we get rid of that smell? And so that was and no one was talking about it.
Oh, I love that.
And so when you're the first to talk about it, people are oh my God, I get that. I hate that smell. This. So there's so many ways to do it, but I think it's really this, the differentiation, coming out with something different and new, and a different and new way that people get it. So of course they buy it and you launch, and your revenue's increasing every month. It's increasing, and why is it increasing? And you see that engagement on social media as well.
Got it. I want to talk specifically about the go-to-market strategy for Coco and Eve and how you kind of started to ramp that up, because I read some crazy stats. You guys got tens of millions of reach in the first month. You had some crazy 50,000 person waitlist. Everything was all happening. So what were you doing to drive that interest in the very beginning, circa 2018, 2019?
Well, really one of the first to really have this messaging about cruelty-free, vegan. So it was coming out with something different that really connected. And it was this fun, engaging aspect. So we really used social media. So we always do like April Fool's joke. So we always did that, like from the beginning, worked with like influencers in really creative ways. So we worked with this UK influencer and it was recreating the Kim Kardashian break the internet. Probably don't remember that, but like she threw like champagne and on the glass on her bottom and we recreated it with coconut.
So it's just kind of like a picture on social where you create some hype, but like obviously.
Or a video, yeah.
Or a video. Oh my God, I love that. That's so much fun. Oh, I love that. I feel like all of those things, like fun marketing initiatives as well, really keep the journey enjoyable because it's sparking joy within yourself, within the team, within your customers, and that lifts the vibe.
Yeah, and we did for our birthday as well. We just did a Balinese pool. You know how they did the flowers in the pool, and so we got that done. And yeah, lots of fun on social media. So we got the there was a trend where is it real or is it cake? So we got the tan as a cake, and yet they cut it so it looks like a real tan, and they cut it and it's cake. And
oh my gosh,
it's like every day a topic.
I mean, you're about to hit 1 million followers on Instagram. You're pretty close. Are you going to do something to celebrate?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, no, definitely. No ideas yet. So if you have any ideas that we should do, let us know.
What's shifting the needle for you now in terms of revenue drivers? Like, is that something that for you, it's still the same kind of playbook, like influencers and social first approach? Or is there other things, i.e. the retail playbook, new product expansion into different categories, things like that?
It's an interesting space we're in now because Europe and UK, which is going through this, really strong inflation, erosion of living cost, or cost of living increase, and so erosion of sort of lifestyle, and so you have these challenges in that market, whereas US is growing really strongly, Australia and Canada, so you have sort of different things going on in different markets. I think what is sort of been the journey for us, and it was probably a little bit too long, where we were definitely an e-commerce brand. Our retailers were online. We were just online, and which served us well during COVID because everybody was buying online, and that's where the consumer was. So what we did in 2022 was really focus on getting in store. And so that work we did last year is really paying off this year, where we have launched into Boots and into Ulta. The launch into Ulta has been amazing, and it's just had this halo effect. So, in beauty, what's really sort of come out of the end of COVID is this omni-channel strategy. And for us, it's your direct channel, it's marketplaces like Amazon, which largely don't, have that market share like in Australia, but they do in certainly, Europe, UK and the US. And the retail is predominantly, for us, physical retail. And having all of those channels working well, set up is really the key that's, driving our growth this year.
What's the goal for you as someone that's bootstrapped? Do you see the vision of exiting these businesses that are doing so well at some point, or do you see the vision of creating more brands and adding to the portfolio for a future exit of the entire portfolio company?
It's definitely evolved over the years. As funding has poured into beauty, it's become so competitive. Your competitor has $10 million in the bank and mentors, and so that's the reality. So we've had to adjust our strategy to reflect that. And Coco Eve has just been far and away the biggest success story for us. It's growing, so much. This year we're at 35% growth. So the focus is on that. But yeah, we definitely, I think the next step is to get, investors on board to really help with that growth. So it's definitely on our radar and something we're looking out for. I think that most of the, media talk is how, founders make all this money in 2 years. And I just think that's the exception rather than the norm. And if you want to really start start up and see that through. I think you got to commit 10 years. I think it's like, I'm in it. Don't be afraid if it's taking longer than you think. Just focus on the big vision and keep improving. Just focus on every day what you can improve. And it really changes things when you do that. And so then the right partner will come along. And that's where we're at. So
that's so exciting. What's that saying? It takes 10 years to reach overnight success. We're all out here thinking people just pop on TikTok overnight and everything's just rosy. But in actual fact, it's taken 10 years of hard work to get there and to get to that point.
Yeah, it feels like you just got to commit for the long haul and it'll come.
Long-term vision. I actually just wanted to circle back to this point that you made around launching into companies like Ulta and, you're having this big success in retail. Has that shifted your marketing playbook? Like, what are you doing differently now to make sure that those partnerships at such a huge scale are a success?
I think we do invest quite heavily into marketing. I think there's a lot we can do for sure. But one campaign we did to launch into Ulta was we worked with influencers, basically their story of going into Ulta. And we had a TikTok go viral. Like, it went viral and completely, we just sold out. It's a video where she goes into Ulta, and we'd launched it there and we did sell quite well. So there was little stock left, and then she finally managed to get the stock, and she showed that she used the product, and it just went viral. It's got 10 million views on TikTok. And it's benefited all channels, not just Ulta. It's been on Amazon and our direct. We feel that. So we feel that you have to have this mix between kind of above the line, just getting that reach with the right people and being there and sort of, driving to purchase. And we just see the consumer, I mean, maybe they'll purchase on site first, but then they go into Ulta, or they've seen it online and they like, oh, I like that brand, but I want to see it in real life. So then they will go into Ulta. So this is just, I think, commitment to creating, interesting sort of engaging content above the line and trying to get the reach with that. And also you have your e-commerce strategies to, continue driving sort of direct channel as well.
So with this 10 million views video, it was on her channel that it went viral. And was she like an influencer you partnered with, kind of being, a micro influencer where you're like, it's just content, it's going to be great. Like, we're not hoping for a viral video. Of course, we're always hoping for a viral video, but you know what I mean? Or were you like, hey, strategically, we've chosen this person who has a very big reach. Most videos get a lot of views, and we think that it has the potential or the kind of recipe to be able to go viral. As in, was it planned or was it unplanned?
So TikTok is such a great channel. It's extremely difficult. So for us, we typically don't pay huge fees for influencers, and it's really about that long-term relationship. So if it goes well, they do a post of paid organic. So it's not just a one-off, here's $10,000, like this is the view. So it was really a campaign to create awareness that we had launched into Ulta. So it wasn't a huge budget. It was, it cost less than $2,000 for that video. And it was working with those influencers who have that affinity with Ulta, that people, they're the followers. I'm not sure if you saw all the content about Drunk Elephant, where their DeBronzi has just gone completely viral. So we looked at the videos that were doing well for popular products like DeBronzi, and we said, okay, we like this concept where they go into store. And so we give them concept and give them free reign, basically, to create under that content, under that theme. And that typically works for us. So, yeah, we give sort of basic briefs and try to find the right people, and we don't pay those huge fees. So, TikTok, it's just one of those things you can't guarantee when it goes viral, but definitely amazing when it does.
So amazing. And off the back of that, have you established a longer term partnership with that creator now, or how do you leverage what's happened?
No, for sure. Yes. We love her. So, yeah, we keep working with her. And, it's our goal for all partnerships that we can build that relationship with them.
Amazing. Gosh, what is your advice for small business owners and founders who are in this early stages of building their business in 2023?
I think that consumers love creativity. They love trying new products that are different and interesting to them. So it's all in the product and how you position it. I think there's certain retailers too that are great to connect with. I think that Priceline, it is an interesting one. So we sell the tan with them. I know they're taking on some brands if you're in that price point. So it's good to connect with the retailer and have that strategy. But now I'd be like, just be all over TikTok. Just figure out how you can get that traction on TikTok if you want those, to get that reach.
Find those viral videos, figure out the formula and recreate. Love it. Thank you so much. We are about to do the 6 quick questions part of the episode. Some of the questions we might have already asked, but we ask them all the same because they go into part 2 of the episode. So question number 1 is, what's your why? Why are you waking up every single day and building the brands under Supernova?
Breakthrough innovation. And coming from e-commerce, most of my career, where you get instant feedback. When you work on a product for years and an idea for years, it's so amazing when you bring it to market and people love it. It's devastating when they don't. So that's my why. I love that. And just doing something different and really challenging myself and the team.
Have you ever launched something that wasn't a hit that you had to backtrack on?
Yep.
Do you want to talk about it?
I mean, it's not a flop. It's been quite successful, actually. But one of our shampoo, like a virgin super hydrating shampoo, is definitely one we worked on for so long, and we were really pushing the envelope. It had to be sulfate free. You had to have this really high naturality, and hair care is really difficult to find that balance. No silicones, so really clean formula, and hair care is it's so difficult to really find that balance, because at the end of the day, people prioritize efficacy over naturality or clean ingredients. So we definitely push the boundary there, and I think that we've got lots of shampoo conditioner launches coming up. I want a product that everybody loves. And this product has definitely been loved by people with more dry hair, curly hair. But those with more fine hair, it's definitely been mixed feedback. So it sells really well. So I definitely get good feedback, but I want everybody to love it. And so that's probably one of the biggest learnings. And hair care is so difficult to make a shampoo and conditioner. Like a shampoo, it's taken us many years and working with the right manufacturer. But I think we've cracked the code now. So June, we've got some launches coming up. So we launched a body sunscreen, and it was literally like a week ago. In America, people want to know, is it Hawaii reef safe compliant? Is it have this ingredient and that ingredient? And so we had to pivot a little bit in our communication. So those things you can fix. So feedback can be various things.
Yes, feedback pushes you forward, even though sometimes it hurts. Question number 2 is, what's been your favorite marketing moment so far?
I think when we launched the tan, it was an instant hit, and really focusing on, I think we believed why the formula and the magic that we put onto hair care can work across all categories. We just wanted to be a really different and integrated beauty brand. So I think that was the biggest achievement. We got lots of PR, and we did a campaign where it was really about strategy of laddering. So you look at, focusing on a negative, no bad tan smells, which was really the key for that, and sort of really embracing body imperfections. And we're really the first to show you stretch marks and, celebrate you. So that campaign it just took off immediately. So that was definitely the amazing moment.
Love that. I read you sell something crazy like a bottle every 20 seconds.
We sell 1,000 a day, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Gosh, goodness. Question number 3 is, what's your go-to business resource when you have to think about a book or a podcast or a newsletter that you consume?
You know what I'm loving now, and I have to say there's so many branding experts on TikTok. So those ones I really consult. So seek them out. There's there's a lot on there. So really, really thinking about your brand and your positioning, I'd say that first of all, but sort of business of fashion and global cosmetics newsletters, they're definitely things I love to read and, giving you a perspective on the industry. But I also I see manufacturers, I go to all the events, so it's on the ground talking to people as well. So these events are open to everybody. So get talking to people and see what they're seeing on the ground.
Keep up to date with what's happening in technology and innovation in the beauty space for sure. Question number 4 is, how do you win the day? What are your AM or PM rituals and habits that keep you feeling happy and successful and motivated?
Yeah, I wish I had a recipe. I'm a mum. I have 2 young kids. I have a husband. I have a very busy job. What used to get me down is just, the overwhelmingness of it every day and really switching your mindset. This is awesome. I have so many opportunities. I got over the imposter syndrome, like, oh, what if this is not going to work, and the doubts, and just having a great team and something to look forward to and, great husband and kids. So that's how I just go through the day. It sometimes takes me. I wish I had that formula to win the day, but, just working hard and being grateful and thankful that we can be so busy and have lots to do.
How did you shift your mindset? I feel like it's a hard thing to do sometimes.
I think that everybody had those moments out of COVID, right? So COVID just made all of our lives traumatic and it just wasn't feasible to go on. So you had to make changes and a lot of people changed. I feel I'm not alone with that. I think a lot of people changed their mindset and just said, well, this is busy, this is tough. What we lived through COVID, even a business, you have demand here, it shifts to here. It's just every day the warehouse is closed for a week. Oh, now they're open again. There's problems every day. And I think, when you talk about, just solve the problems, get to the bottom of them, solve the problems, you just see the progress much quicker than like, oh my God, I've got all these problems. It's just overwhelming me. So I think that was a bit of the moment of dealing with everything.
Yes. No other choice.
No other choice. Yeah.
Question number 5 is, what is your worst money mistake and how much did it cost you?
We're been pretty good. I mean, we are self-funded business and, we learn from these little mistakes over the years. I think that what has been the most challenging and the most confronting that was kind of out of our control or something you didn't see has definitely been the change in consumer demand that's shifted over the years and where they're buying and what they're buying. And I think that's been the most challenging. So really to figure out, okay, how do we make the right decisions but still stay flexible and build that into all of our systems. So making wrong stock purchases, I think, has been the most painful because you want all your money and your investments to go to use.
Absolutely. Question number 6, last question. What is just a crazy story you can share, good or bad, from your journey in building Coco and Eve, Sand and Sky, and anything under the Supernova brand?
At the start of COVID in 2020, sorry, I kept talking about COVID, but
it's a big part of our lives. Still fresh.
This is a good story. So Donald Trump, when he was president, he gave out like the Trump check, and it's $1,000 to every American citizen. And he did this at the end of April. And it was our biggest sales month. We completely sold out. We sold 2,500 sales that day, like units. It was just an amazing boost to e-commerce and completely surprising and overwhelmingly good. So the Trump check, we will never forget it. It was all of a sudden we're making all these sales. So consumers just took the money and they bought Coco and Eve.
Oh my gosh, that's so bizarre, the Trump check. Love it.
So bizarre, yeah. It's a real story, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Emuly, thank you so much for taking the time to come on Female Startup Club today and share your journey in building these businesses and the playbook that's been working for you. I'm so grateful to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Doone.